Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at Omen one-way smokes on the new map Icebox. We're going to start on the B site and then work our way across the map. On defense, the first smoke I found is on top of this doorway here. You see, you want to place it around the midpoint here. You can get it higher up, but that doesn't work as well as a one-way. So here, place the smoke. And for this one, you can play from all the way back here, getting an angle either coming out the doorway or from the back of this lane, or you can teleport up onto this box and you still have a nice angle underneath the smoke, and you can still see a little bit as they come around the corner. In terms of the attackers, if they do decide to walk through the smoke, obviously they can't see anything until they get out like this, and if they do decide to come around this corner and see the smoke, you can see that they can't see all the way back. So if you say on the box right at the back, they won't be able to see you at all, and they obviously can't see you if you're on top of the box, or even if you're on the floor, until they come further out this way like this. If you want to play more passively inside the B site, and you can use a one-way smoke on both of these entrances into this area, so you place it on top of the first container, and from here, you got an angle onto anyone coming out of this nearer lane, and then on the lane further back, you want to be further to the left, but you can still use it as a one-way. The further back you are, the harder it is for the attackers to see you as they come around the corner. And for the attackers, in this closer lane, can't see you at all until they get out past here. And if they're coming from this lane, they can obviously see a little bit better than if you come out from the closer one, but you'll still be able to see their feet before they see you. If you're looking to hold the midsection of the map from the B site, you can pop a smoke between these two containers on the right hand side, like this. And from holding back here, you'll be able to see as the attackers cross from underneath the tunnel to this side. For the attackers, as they come underneath the tunnel, they're in cover, but as they try and cross this way, you'll be able to see their feet before they see them. They can obviously creep into this corner using the smoke as cover, but if they need to be aggressive or they're running out of time, this smoke will slow them down or net you an easy elimination. There are also a couple of nice offensive one-ways you can use on this site after you've planted the spike. For the first one, we're going to be putting it on top of this bridge. I like this one for two reasons. One, it blocks this doorway if the defenders are trying to retake site from the kitchen, although you do have to be careful because they can cross into this container using the smoke as cover. But this one way, if you play from back here, you'll be able to see the feet of any defenders trying to retake the site through this lane. You might want to smoke this angle off at the same time. If you say smoke here and use this one way here, they either have to push through the smoke, or you'll be able to see their feet as they come around this lane. You want to place this one slightly further to the right, just so it's a bit lower down on this side, like that. And for the attackers, as they come around the corner, they can obviously see under this side of it, but they can't see all the way back to the back of the tower wall. So as a defender, as you come around this corner, you can't see anywhere in this part of sight, and they'll be able to see your feet easily. If you're instead worried about the defenders trying to retake site through their spawn, you can place a one-way smoke on this wall. It's a little bit tricky to place. It's sort of this area of the wall you want to try and get it on. Around here. You can get it around here. You can't get it close to the corner. It's much harder to place there, so we'll try and place it here. And for this one, you can play behind the tower again, and you'll have a perfect angle on their feet as they come around this corner. Or you can even play from further back. As a defender, you can see if this smoke was up, you'd have a real big problem trying to retake the site, especially if you have to rush into site because the spike's planted and you're running out of time. You can see that you can't see anyone behind the tower area or even in the whole of site until you get out to this point, making you such an easy kill if this smoke's up. There's a really nice defensive smoke you can use from the kitchen area to stop attackers pushing underneath the tunnel. So for this one, you're actually going to be placing it inside of this tunnel, but you can do it from out here. Place it around this position. And as it falls down, you have a great angle onto their feet as they push out from underneath the tunnel. And as you can see for the attackers, pushing through here, I think maybe that the smoke's been misplaced, like it was meant to block this area. But as you push through, you'll be able to see their feet much earlier than they can even look at the window. And the real trick with this one is to make sure you don't place the smoke sort of over the tunnel. Because as an attacker, if you see this, you're going to be like, why would I push through this? But if you think that they've misplaced it or that you can still see, like the smoke's not blocking your vision, it's much more likely to trap them into thinking that this is a safe way to push through. Just wait for this one to go. Like this looks relatively safe as an attacker to push through because you still got all your sight there and you can still check the corner quite quickly. But because you're elevated up here, you have such an easy kill if they do decide to push it. So this is probably my favourite little like trappy one. As an attacker at the start of the round, if you're worried about defenders either aggressively pushing underneath this tunnel or over the ramp down this area, you can place a one-way smoke on the corner of this container. So you want to get it about a third of the way from the right hand side, and then you want to go forward once it's on the ledge, otherwise it will fall down on your side. And for this one, You can use it as a one-way from back here onto anyone coming underneath the tunnel. And if they do try and push down from their spawn, you'll have an angle onto their feet as they come around the corner. If the defenders do try and play aggressively underneath the tunnel, their sightline's severely restricted by the smoke. And again, if the defenders just try and push over the ramp through the mid-boiler section, you'll be able to take them out as they try and push past the smoke. And finally, we're onto the A site. So this first one can be used on either side of this Zipwire. You want to be placing the smoke on the roof about in the middle of it, like that. Same thing on this side. This would obviously be for the attackers. And as you can see, if there's anyone playing in that area, you'll be able to see their feet and they won't be able to see you at all. This is what they can see. So if they are trying to hold an angle from up here, you'll be able to take them out easily. Exactly the same thing on this side if the defenders try and peek from the Zipwire area. If you're instead playing further back in the A site and you're worried about the attackers pushing through mid into the A site through this doorway, you can use a smoke on this door. Around here on the ledge. For this one you have to be on the rafters, otherwise they'll be able to see your feet from down there. But because you're a bit higher up, they won't be able to see you as you come around the corner. And for any attackers trying to push through the door, they can obviously see the whole of site, but they can only see rafters once they get past the smoke. So you should be able to take them out easily. You'll be able to pretty much see their whole body from up there. And finally for the A site, I'll show you some attacking one-way smokes. So for the first one, we're going to be placing it on the top corner of this, just around here. Ideally, you'd place it in the other view through this wall, so obviously you're not vulnerable whilst you place it. But for this one, you can see anyone holding an angle from behind here. For defenders in this position, as they're peeking around this angle, obviously once they get out further right, they'll be able to see. But you can see there's a little bit of wiggle room where if they're trying to hold a tight angle around this corner, you'll be able to see them while they can't see you. If as an attacker you've managed to get the spike down, there's a couple of one-ways you can use on these rafters. This one's very similar to the one I showed for defense, but if you place it on the right-hand side of the door and play from right back here, if any defenders come around this corner, you'll be able to take them out pretty easily. And for the second one, you're going to be placing it above this doorway. So make sure it actually lands on the doorway. Like this. Go back up here. And if you play from all the way back here on the left side, you'll be able to hold this angle without having to worry about defenders being able to see you as they come through this doorway. And you'll be able to kill anyone coming through this door. And for the defenders trying to push this door, their head just gets stuck in the smoke, so they won't be able to see as they push in the door. For this reason, you have to make sure that you put the smoke right in the middle of the doorway, because if you place it to one of the sides, I'll just show you. You can see that's just right on the side. Because it's placed a bit higher up, they can push around here, and they'll be able to see your feet as they push around this corner. So just be careful to place it in the middle. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out my guides for Jett on Icebox, as well as my video on the Wallbangs I found so far on this map. Thanks for watching!